From Yforum, this is Dare to Ask. Renee from Port Orange, Florida, asked, so much is made of anti-Semitism and how ugly it is, yet anti-Catholicism is alive and well on TV and in the movies. Live talk shows seem obsessed to bash the church. Pete, 39, from Pennsylvania, made this comment. Catholicism is the largest denomination in the U.S. and world, more than a sixth of the planet's population. So what you may perceive as a lot is just proportionately appropriate. Here's what we found. First, some housekeeping. At 1.3 billion, Catholics do make up more than a sixth of the world's population. However, there are more than 1.9 billion Muslims, and if being skeptical or hostile toward religion counts as a religion, they call it irreligion, those folks number anywhere from 800 million to 1.1 billion, according to Britannica.com, adherence.com, and other global surveyors of religious persuasion. Keep in mind, pollsters count anyone who doesn't totally believe in somebody up there, even Christian atheists who apparently don't buy into God, but really like the moral teachings of Jesus. Let's start with Philip Jenkins, Distinguished Professor of History at Baylor University and Professor Emeritus of Humanities at Penn State, who's written lots of books on religion, including The New Anti-Catholicism. He argues that in the case of abusive priests, the media tend to broad brush the scandal as systemic. Even moderate commentators are writing as if priests around the world have taken secret vows of conspiracy, perversion, and omerta, he writes in The American Conservative. Worse, this deviance is allegedly built into the church's structure of command and control. But studies by the John Jay College of Criminal Justice in New York found that at most, about 4% of U.S. priests were accused of sexual misconduct with a minor between 1950 and 2002, and of those, 149 could be classified as super predators. Jenkins writes that he's not downplaying the situation, just adding perspective. He adds in The New Anti-Catholicism that in the media, Catholicism is regarded as a perfectly legitimate target, the butt of harsh satire in numerous films and television programs, while other faiths seem to get a pass. He also writes that as liberal dissidents within the faith have blossomed, for most of the media, a knee-jerk response holds that the Catholic Church and its hierarchy are always wrong, especially on matters of gender, sexuality, and morality. However, it sort of is wrong, at least when it tries to push its power and morality on millions of laity, said Ann Newman, contributing editor of The Revealer, a publication of New York University's Center of Religion and Media. Nobody made up these sex abuse scandals. No one forced the U.S. bishops to say, we will provide health care only in the way we want to, not providing contraceptives, not removing feeding tubes from vegetative patients, not offering tubal ligations or even embryonic stem cell research. About half their hospitals' money comes from federal and state funding, but they refuse to operate according to individual rights. And she said, let's remember, the media thrives on controversy. I'm afraid the media's job is to give readers something to read. I'm not sure it's their role to play something down, she said. Cynthia, 25, from Toronto in Canada, asks, why is it so hard to find men between 22 and 33 who are old-fashioned, decently dressed, well-kept, good taste, open doors? 39-year-old M, a male from Hickory, North Carolina, replied, respect for other people is being slowly bred out of our culture. Ember from Phoenix said, a lot of women, myself included, feel men like this think we are fragile. Apparently men picked up on this. Good for them. Chris, a 51-year-old male from Windsor, Connecticut, asking a guy in his 20s to have good taste? They're college sophomores, the origin of the term sophomoric humor. Ralph, 34, from New Jersey, said, if I'm at a party with a bad boy player, I won't get a second glance. You are looking right through us. Charles from Detroit had this to say, with equal rights, men questions women's desire for this treatment. Bethany, 17, from Medford, Oregon. If a boy's father wasn't like that, he won't be. Nick, 23, from Newburgh, Indiana, said, it's usually the not-so-attractive guys who are the nicest, because they have to make up for the lack of looks. Maybe you're looking in the wrong places. Q, a 25-year-old Seattle male, told us, men aren't taught to respect women, with porn easily available, and women 18 to 27 like to be treated like shit and pieces of meat. Julie, 33, from Woodbridge, Virginia, replied, everyone, man, woman, or hermaphrodite, needs good manners. Here's what we found. Well, about 30% of men practice it, another 40% want it, and the rest just don't get it. Proper etiquette, that is. So says Valerie Peterson Kelly. Her website is vpkellyenterprises.com. A fatherhood consultant who teaches men manners. It's still pretty bad out there. It's across the board, said Peterson Kelly, author of the kids' book, Where's My Daddy? She added, men who wear suits. The etiquette piece goes out the door once they're out of the spotlight. And blue-collar guys, they're like, what the hell? I'm going to get my TV tray, and I don't give a rip what people say. I'm going to do my thing. The main problem is men aren't around enough, especially at dinner time, she said. It's one thing for mom to talk about manners. It's another to have a male role model get the boy's attention when giving instructions. No male is saying, stop all that burping, scratching, and farting at the dinner table, or how would you like your daughter bringing that home? The number one thing not being taught boys? Courting, she said. No one's telling a young man how to act or talk on a date. That a girl shouldn't be called a B, or an H, or a skank. It's all about selfish tendency now, Peterson said. No ladies first. There's no sacrifices. For more on this groundbreaking cross-cultural Q&A project, visit dareyoudaretoask.com.